What is up, everybody? Welcome back to All New Nerds. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you care to, if you want to. Today, we are going to be talking about...
Still shooting.
Suicide Squad. He's still shooting. The Suicide Squad. And we did a spoiler-free review. I think that one should go up first. So I have that one out. So hopefully you check that one out. And now,
but if you're here, who cares?
I know. Here's where we're going to get into spoilers. We're going to get into the meat of the film. We're very excited. So let's just jump right in. So biggest spoiler, I guess, which was kind of shown in the trailers, but what do we think of Starro? Starro the Conqueror. I'm gonna jump right there. That's where I'm gonna jump.
I don't even know if that was a spoiler because like you had to be really living under a rock to not know that Starro was in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, we got the battle of the Conquerors. You got Kang and Starro all in with
right. Like, Year of the Conqueror.
Oh, yeah. It's the Conqueror hours. I mean, I honestly thought Starro was the weakest part of the movie. I still liked it, but
visually it was cool.
Visually it was cool, but the first 2/3 I preferred. I liked the Starro stuff, but it just felt the most samey to other superhero movies, which is fine. You gotta have
I feel like it didn't. I feel like this kind of third act battle had again a lot of stakes because we saw Polka Dot Man just die,
which is sad.
Which was sad.
I was like, no, I loved Polka Dot Man. His whole Milton thing was so funny, and I was like, I relate to Polka Dot Man. He cares.
Who's Milton? They're like, why did he come with us?
Yeah.
And Harley at the end is like, he calls Bloodsport Milton. She's like, no, your name is Milton.
Shot in the rain. In that shot in the rain, you can see him. You can see Milton.
On the side.
In the trailer, he's not in the trailer. So I thought that was funny that they took him out.
So I think it was kind of. I see what you're saying, Levi, but I thought it was kind of important that it felt like a big superhero.
Because they were heroes,
Exactly, right. Because that's I guess the thing is they're not.
I still liked it. It was just my least favorite part. Like the parts that I loved the most. The parts that I loved the most was the intro. The intro where everyone just died. I was like, oh my god! It's gonna be this. That was nuts.
Dude, when Harley went into Starro's eye, and it was a cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was sweet. But I just when Star Wars is stomping around, and I was like,
right.
I was like, I see this.
Never would have thought we saw comic accurate, might I add, Starro in the movie, and goddamn, was that so cool.
Well, even his little. There was a little bit more depth there because he was like, I was content just floating in space, just exploring the galaxy. And then you came in, and it turned out it was actually the U.S. government that kind of started this, which I think is great. I feel like we almost don't get enough of sort of that. And I thought they weren't going to go that route. And I was like, are you serious? We're just getting I don't know. It's the U.S. comes and saves the day. But no, that was the exact opposite. And you see that in the movie where it turns out the government, or what's her name again?
Amanda Waller.
Yeah, she's the most corrupt one out of all of them.
Dude, when the employee friggin' hit her over the head because she was about to blow.
Right.
Let's start at the beginning though. Let's kind of go loosely chronologically. It opens with Michael Rooker as Savant, which I loved. I loved him, the way he looked, the character design, his acting, his performance. So Savant, I've never even heard of this character.
Well, I thought there's a character named Ricochet, but he has the same abilities, so I wasn't off.
But he's cool, and he's sitting in his cell, and it's a, Alcatraz situation, and he kills. He bounces his ball.
Same jail from the first movie.
And I know. I meant it's called Bird out of Alcatraz. It's it looks like a reference to me from an old 50s movie. It's okay, doesn't matter. He kills the bird with his ball. He bounces. He's like, okay, this guy can bounce. And then Amanda Waller's like, all right, let's go. Suicide Squad. You're on the team. You gotta, take years off your sentence. And it's rapid fire. He gets the chip in his head, and then he's on the copter. And you got Pete Davidson as Blackguard. You got Nathan Fillion.
That was 45 minutes of the first movie.
As TDK.
5 minutes.
You got Rick Flag. Yep. And a Calendar Man makes a cameo as they walk to the helicopter.
Yeah, Calendar Man, played by Sean Gunn. Yeah.
And which people are mad about, which is weird. They say people that are you haven't seen that tweet. People are like, they butchered this character, Calendar Man.
Calendar Man. Well, I mean,
shut up.
Yeah, and I can. Yeah, in the comics,
he's 5 seconds of screen time. It doesn't matter. Literally, people were like, they should have had a whole flashback with Ben Affleck's Batman. And I was like, No, no.
I mean, like, no, that's not a complaint of mine, but like that would have been cool to see. Obviously, I want to see.
And it would have ruined the pacing. Anyway,
with the rogues, but anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Do you remember Batman was in the first Suicide Squad?
I know. I like that scene with Deadshot. Not gonna lie. Oh, and the chase scene, that was cool too. But anyways,
pretty cool. Anyway. And so it's the shot that you see from the trailer where they're all walking in front of the American flag. It's that team. Yeah. So you're instantly following that team, and they're going. And there's this great scene on the helicopters. This very funny. I think it was one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you also have
werewolf.
Captain Boomerang. But then they get to their destination. They're on this beach. They jump out. Not only does Weasel drown, which is funny. Later it's revealed he survived.
If you saw it.
Right, he does end up surviving.
He does survive, but in the moment it's funny. And they all get out. And then it's revealed that Blackguard, Pete Davidson's character, has betrayed them to whoever they're going after, and they almost all just get mowed down and die. He just gets shot in the face, and I was like,
it falls apart so quickly, and I thought that was hilarious.
And I was stunned. And they literally every single person you see in that trailer shot is dead except for Rick Flag and Harley Quinn in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe technically Nathan Fillion's character
goes, like flees. He tries to swim away, and Waller that kind of sets up the blowing.
Yeah, and that's
you're
blow up in.
Yeah, you're kind of wondering like where are the other people in the trailer? Like, there's a whole movie with these other characters, and they turn out to just be like another
second team. Yeah, it's a second Suicide Squad, right. and then you get the title card, and then you get a flashback to sort of set up what just happened. Because I was like, this might be too fast pacing for me. With everybody dying, I was like, this is almost like Rise of Skywalker speed, where you're just like, I'm enjoying it, but just like slow down, please.
I liked it because it showed what we needed to see, and
exactly.
Also,
having known the structure of the movie now, I think it did its job perfectly, and I'm excited to rewatch it. I was going to rewatch it before this, but I didn't realize you guys were going to record so early. It's okay. I just rolled out of bed essentially. Yeah, it's time zone. But yes. So, what do you guys think about that scene as a whole? Like, I loved it.
It was freaking hilarious. I loved how they were like storming the beach. It gave me I feel like it was definitely like a war film scene. It was funny, but obviously it was comedic. But
all the character designs, I love like the look of Javelin and Blackguard. Like all of it was just so comic booky.
It was so cool, and
TDK.
The way they died was like somehow funny a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's like what I was instantly kind of in love with it when they all started dying, especially like Pete Davidson. One, because it's like, I mean, I was like, oh, he's like going to be a big character in this movie because it's Pete Davidson, it's a big actor. But nope, he gets he's the first one to go other than
the face.
He doesn't even end up dying. So yeah, well, he was stupid. He walks out and he's like, hey, and then he gets shot. Yeah. And then the mowdown ensues, and they are not capable to defeat the.
I think my favorite joke in the film. Honestly, it might be in that helicopter scene when Nathan Fillion's character, who I wish was in the movie more, but is like strapping in Blackguard, and he's like, "Now you're safe." Like he like ties it, and he sort of sits there, and he just goes, "Now you're safe." And I was like, that, for whatever reason, that really, it was just such good character moments in the beginning that you're immediately endeared to these people, and then they all just die horrifically.
I mean, like I like, obviously not on like a strict like a purely like emotional level, but like I did like kind of care for them very quickly and then they died, and I was like, oh shoot, like I wasn't like attached to them. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to explain it. Like I felt like
it's like like you did like in the back of my mind. It's like, whoa, I kind of like would have liked to see that character move on a little more, but like I can see like once the film's over, okay, I get it.
Yeah. So the only other point of relevance to the whole film of the scene is Javelin gives his javelin to Harley Quinn as he dies, and then we cut to the real Suicide Squad before we get the flashbacks, which we'll get into, which is Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, Ratcatcher 2, and Polka Dot Man, and that's who we actually are following for most of the movie. Yes. So then it cuts back to Louisiana, like 2 days ago or whatever, 3 days ago, and it's Waller putting together the squad. What did you guys think about this?
It was great. It was great. The characters, I was like, how are they going to make this work? And it's perfect. You got the Ratcatcher 2, who's like definitely like the moral, I guess, the morale of that group.
Yeah.
What's the shark's guy's name again?
King Shark.
He's just a dumb oaf. And
Good
stuff.
I love that it's Sylvester Stallone. It's Sylvester Stallone's best performance since Creed.
Yeah.
But then the rivalry between Peacemaker and how much Bloodsport. Yeah, that
because it's like the same character, and they made that joke.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have the same skills.
Right. Not only does it end perfectly with them or great with them, but it just like throughout the whole movie, I'm going a little ahead here, but we're in like the
Peacemaker, yeah.
when they're in that little camp and they're just mowing everyone down.
Yeah, dude.
I think my favorite, the funniest Peacemaker line is when he's like, "I love liberty and I'll kill any man, woman, or child to get it." Like, yeah.
Well, then we see that too. That's a funny line, but then we do see that.
Right, and they're just mowing them down, and it turns out they were on the same team.
What do we
They're
think
the freedom
of
fighters.
Peacemaker overall? Because I'm low key am shocked that
John Cena performed that well.
No, and he's getting a series
because John Cena did a great job.
He did a great job. They all did a great job. I didn't think one actor did like a subpar job. No, but I'm like kind of shocked that there's a Peacemaker series now.
Well, it could be a prequel, for all we know.
But
although the end, the end sets up. Oh, he survived.
He likes,
he does live, and he's definitely out.
There's another thread. I don't know. I liked the character enough. Like, obviously, I hate him or whatever because he's not. Well, I don't hate him, and I don't know. I like him as a villain.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
you hate him because what he did to the character.
Right.
Yeah, I'd much rather see like what Idris Elba has pitched recently, which is a story about why and how Bloodsport puts Superman in the ICU. Like, I would love to see that.
Like some of that or something. Yeah.
Right.
Like him against Henry Cavill. Oh, that'd be so good. Like a quick a miniseries about that.
So well too, because Superman. Every conversation about Superman is like, oh, he can't be beat. He's a boring character. And then like just to hear that he was able to take him out, like it's just genius. Like just a little hint of that just gives enough to like make this character that much more badass. And anyway, you kind of you sort of have his like background with his daughter and everything like that. And I thought that was good too. That was great stuff. Gave him some motive.
That scene when they were on the phone, the room in the prison.
So basically, basically Bloodsport won't join her squad, but Amanda Waller's like, "I'll kill your daughter," and essentially, and then he forces him to join. Which is all great stuff. And then they put together a new scene, and that's where you get some of the shots from the trailer where like they're looking at the projector, the five of them, and stuff like that. And so we get, as I mentioned,
here's it set up, and then Starfish is another word for butthole. Any connection? And then he's like, no. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, all the again comedic scenes there. Then we fast forward. They're on the. Oh no! And then we cut to the other squad. I think right after that, right? The second squad, which is Bloodsport, Polka Dot Man, King Shark. We cut back to modern day.
Yeah, I think so. In the woods, chopping through the woods.
Yep. So we get to them
because Rick Flag has survived, and their mission gets retasked. They got to go save Rick Flag.
Waller puts them on a different mission.
Yeah, and they all kill they kill the freedom fighters accidentally.
Yeah. Like murder them. And again, that was the Dylan was talking about. But yeah, I love like the competitiveness with killing people. And then it's revealed that again they were freedom fighters, not like the militia or the army that they were supposed to be taking down. So
which is like it was funny and it was like, oh shit. Like, it was a no shit moment, but it's also like I thought it was just a good theme where it's like US
the bad guys
when guns ablazing. Yeah, that too. Yeah, but it's like it just I don't know. Peacemaker and his whole thing, especially lining up with that scene was just great.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Evil dude, that Peacemaker.
Oh yeah,
and just to skip around, I think maybe the best line of the movie about Peacemaker is when he stabs Rick Flag in the heart, and they're both just covered in blood, and he just is the way. Not Joel Kinnaman. What's the actor's name? Oh my god. I'm sorry, Rick Flag, the actor. I apologize to you. Yeah. When he delivers, Peacemaker, what a joke, and just falls over dead. I was like, that's so good. Like that is such a good scene. And then it cuts to Ratcatcher saw the whole thing. I was like, it's just so good.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. What do you think of?
Oh, you're right, Joel Kinnaman. You're right.
Oh, okay. It was Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Ratcatcher's dad being
Taika
Waititi.
That's funny.
Awesome.
Yeah. We
great.
didn't at first in like the flashbacks, but
And
then
that was a clever
when they were on
flashback
top
in the
in the window.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right.
That was really cool.
But yeah, why don't we push forward a bit?
Yeah,
Levi, why don't you take
the
us through?
transitions. Again, we kind of mentioned this in a spoiler-free review. I love.
They're all like almost diegetic, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I loved it.
He really struck a good balance there with that stuff. But yeah, so all right, so there's a bunch of scenes. Harley gets found. Harley gets
the Harley scene I loved. All of the Harley stuff I thought was
everything
great.
with Harley was great.
Gets captured, and then the president of oh my god, what is the city called?
It's like Malto Cortez. What is it?
Yeah.
I think it sounds right.
Maldo Kreese is the opening planet in Mandalorian. So it's
like that.
I think there's it's like a fake island nation off the coast of South America.
Right. Yeah. And the president basically wants to meet with Harley.
I've only seen the movie once, guys. I'll watch it again.
They have a great scene together. They do some stuff.
She shoots it with like this 17th century pistol, and it's the funniest thing. She's like, how do you have a bullet?
But also, we need to make a point. The president is like working with the Thinker.
Yeah, on
Project Starfish, and the Starro project basically is being worked on that island, and he's kind of overseeing it.
Right.
So, but yeah, so basically he starts talking about that to Harley a little bit, and then she basically, I think he said something about like killing kids or not like really caring about kids or like having Starro take over kids, and then Harley basically just shot him.
Yeah, because she sees red flags, and you kind of get that she's talking about Joker or just men in her life in general.
And again,
she kills him with the revolver.
They handled Harley really well. Like there is a clear character arc from the Suicide Squad into Birds of Prey into now. Like,
but they don't go away from her. Like she is crazy. Like she's a crazy person. Like
exactly. That's what I love the most is that she is insane, because people have complained about this scene, or I've seen people complain. Like there are very few people who don't like this movie, but those who have complained about this scene, and I think it's funny. I think they're missing something in that the president doesn't actually like her. Like part of it is Harley's imagination, or like rather her own conception of like whatever random is going on. And because he states like there's dialogue where he's like, I didn't actually like you. The people just because you're like this hero to us. You're like your anarchy is like anti-American is like you're a symbol of hope to our people. And she's like, what? And so he's like, yeah, the people want me to marry you or whatever. It's like I don't actually care. And like you can't actually tell what's real and what's not. But then it like cuts back to like the fancy stuff. He's like, but after a day with you, and then she kills him, and I thought it was very funny. But I was thinking more her escape is like the best.
Yeah, well,
oh my gosh,
so she gets strung up, and basically, so James Gunn like was on an interview, and he was talking about that specific scene where she was like strung up and like she got electrocuted, and then she had to escape. Margot Robbie did all of that, which is really impressive because that's like the actual like flipping up and like putting the key with her foot, putting the key in. It was really impressive. So that was one thing. So she breaks out. And then again, the coolest scene, she's taking down a bunch of the militia or whatever. She has like 2 like AKs, I think, or something like that, or rifles at the beginning, and then they start with like the animated flowers and the birds behind her, which was so visually interesting.
I think that this is one of, if not my favorite scene of the movie. Yeah, just like visually, it's stunning. And it's so just cool. Choreographed. It's beautiful. The music is awesome, and it just I don't know, solid scene.
She grabs the javelin and then finishes them off, and she just like flips over them with a javelin.
But at the same time, before all of this, our Suicide Squad is tasked to go get the Thinker, and then once they get the Thinker, and we can cut back to some of those scenes. Then it's like they realize Harley is captured, and so they have to go rescue Harley. And so at the same time, they're trying to plan this rescue. So by the time she gets out, like Bloodsport is like halfway up the wall with like a wife beater. It's very funny. But
it's a pretty good plan too.
Yeah, I love seeing them with like their helmets on and like like polo shirts and
so to cut back a little bit, like when they're in the city and they're undercover, I love all of their fits. Like they look good.
Yeah.
Like they all look really good. And King Shark's just sitting in the van. It's very funny.
Yeah, that was sad.
King Shark,
there are a lot of emotional moments, especially between him and Ratcatcher too. Yeah, really but again, the movie never really takes itself too seriously, so it's not like you're not. It's
King Shark tried to eat Ratcatcher too, and then they became friends.
Yeah, right. And then through that,
so
would you eat your friends? No.
They are all they all basically go to this compound with where Star is being held.
Jotunheim.
They plan to bomb it.
Jotunheim,
They plan to bomb it. So they're setting up rigs. We cut in between the group. They all kind of split off.
We have skipped over a lot of stuff, but yeah.
We have skipped over a lot of stuff.
They saw the movie.
We're just trying to hit the big beats of the film. So yeah, that happens, and so they kind of split off, and I think it's Ratcatcher 2, Peacemaker, and Rick Flag go downstairs with the Thinker. And then that's when Star was really revealed, and they see like all the tests they've been running on, and he's like, I've been working on Star for 30 years, and so Star's whole ability is he's a giant starfish, but he
space starfish, an alien.
Space starfish. He grows like these spawns, and they attach to people's faces, and basically it becomes like one hive mind kind of thing.
Right, they're like
gross.
And they start talking to them too, and being like, help me, like. Get me out of here.
Because in the comics, you could just like take them off. You can't do that.
Well, no,
it's creepy. Yes, no, you can just pop them off.
If you kill them, but yes,
but you would survive. Your face would be okay. This is like.
Right. Yeah, they said they were corpses. They were like they're dead once.
Yeah.
Well, no, and they showed it like boring into your skull. It's like ugh.
Right.
Very hard R, guys. This movie is a hard R.
And basically they find this like recording or like data files that basically reveal that the U.S. government was really behind the project, and they just wanted to do it in a remote location that wasn't on U.S. soil. And Peacemaker was tasked on the side to make sure that information doesn't go public, and Rick Flag finds it out and wants it to go public. So they kind of fight over that, and it turns out that Peacemaker, this is really where Peacemaker becomes kind of like a secondhand villain in the story. And then Rick Flag dies after their fight. Ratcatcher 2 gets a hold of the also Sebastian, fantastic character.
Sebastian the Rat.
But Ratcatcher gets hold of the file and kind of escapes. And then again, so the bombs go off like unexpectedly, and there's this whole scene with King Shark that's like such a funny scene where he finally finds like some like weird aqua creature friends, and basically in the meantime the bomb ends. They all end up exploding. All the C4 that they've been setting up, or the whatever this stuff is called. And yeah, it's insane. The building like cuts in half and like starts slanting over, and they all have to try to survive. And eventually they all meet up again. And at this point, Peacemaker has a gun on Ratcatcher 2, and Bloodsport makes it down. Also, that scene was so funny where he's like going down each level. He's falling down each level after.
Yeah, it was like continuous superhero landings.
Yeah.
It was a funny play.
But then it was so badass when he finally comes down to Peacemaker.
Yeah, it was
and they're just facing each other down, and that's kind of where the rivalry comes to a head.
Yeah,
and
then you have the callback. You have the callback to the smaller bullet, and
the smaller
bullet,
right?
The joke earlier, and Bloodsport has the smaller bullet, and it goes through Peacemaker's bullet, and it hits him in the
neck. Yeah.
So that was a really cool scene. At this point, Star was breaking out of the prison below slowly. They all get to meet up at this point. It's Harley, Bloodsport, King Shark, Polka Dot Man, and Ratcatcher 2. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, well, those are our heroes at the end. Did you guys kind of see the motive with all the characters once it's revealed that the U.S. was behind this, and Starro is taking down the world, and they think they're gonna die if they don't obey the orders.
Yeah, I think they have. Well, for Bloodsport, for most of the other ones, I think it's just because they're crazy. But for Ratcatcher and Bloodsport, by that point, especially Bloodsport, I think he wants to do it as you see for his daughter. He wants to do something good, because that's one of the overarching themes of the movies. Like, he starts it and he says, "There's no good left in me. There's nothing."
Right.
But I think maybe it's about finding a little bit of good in all of us. Whereas for the other three, like Polka Dot Man, Harley, and King Shark, I think they're just nuts. I think they just look like they turn and walk just because.
Right.
Well, Harley has the whole javelin thing, but that's also just insanity because he doesn't say anything. She's just like, yes. Like those three I can write off as they're just crazy. And Ratcatcher's always been, as you said, like the moral compass. She had the moral imperative to be like, no, I can't just let all these people die. I don't know.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, just like sort of staying in the scene, like with the whole fight, we get another just beautiful scene when Harley finally, she goes through the eyeball with the javelin, and you got just everything with inside the eye.
It was so cool. And then the rats are swimming in there too.
Yeah, the rats are how they take Starro down. So Ratcatcher just like
I love the sort of, I don't know, analogy. It's like the rats like are helping the Suicide Squad, who's like, to a lot of people, the government especially is the lowest of the low. It's like the rats are the ones that end up saving the day here, saving the world. Really,
Ratcatcher 1's whole point to Ratcatcher 2 is that if even rats can have purpose, then we can all have purpose.
Right.
So that's I say probably the core message of the movie is everyone can do some good at least.
Right.
Exactly.
So there's a strong, surprisingly, the movie makes it gets you in the feels a little bit, not like emotionally, but like it still has a core thematically, whereas we keep going back to that first one. Definitely did not. No core there. This one certainly has because it's all James Gunn's vision. We can't stress that enough.
Right.
And that's what they should do going forward.
Yeah.
It's director's visions. Let them do what they want to do. But yeah, dude, just the visual of like Harley swimming in the eye and like it's like blue and then all the blood starts to get like released and like it all changes to red. It was such a cool
it was sweet
scene.
Yeah,
like,
it was awesome.
In terms of other scenes I liked during the movie, when when I think it's Flag, Peacemaker, and Bloodsport break out of that prison van, so they get captured at one point.
We skipped over that, but yeah.
And I know we skipped over it. So I'm bringing it back. I'm taking us back. This is right after they get the Thinker. They surrender in the bar. They are all in the van, and they all do this like Vulcan death punch. And you hear the music from the trailer is playing, which I like that they actually used the trailer.
Yeah, they did use the trailer songs. That was good too. Yeah, I noticed that.
And they just kill the three guys with one hit. I thought that was so funny. But I just thought that was a great scene.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker's just like punching through the front of the van and just
killing
those guys. I was like, oh, it's great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I thought that was a good scene. Any other scenes though you want to mention that we glossed over a lot there?
I just visually loved just like the colors on Starro. They popped so much.
I think the colors in the whole movie were really interesting. The movie was very bright at a lot of times.
It makes me want to buy a poster,
Right.
All the posters
the scene in the rain where it's super bright and they're just storming.
I don't know how they did that.
Storming the tower, but
it took them like 6 months. So.
Really? Wow.
What do you mean?
To film that?
James Gunn tweeted about it the other day. Like it took them months to do that exterior Jotunheim scene.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that was another just amazing point in this movie. Movie surprised me a lot, which is something that I can't say about every superhero movie out there.
And I feel like, again, I don't know if I brought this up. I can't remember.
Super villain, but yeah.
Super villain,
the whole thing was like, I thought this was going to be like, I thought I was going to be able to be like, that's kind of similar to Guardians, but no. This movie was not similar to Guardians in any way, which was really good. And this movie was very refreshing from what we've been getting from DC lately. So, and for like a while,
right?
But
we have a lot of our overall thoughts kind of in the spoiler-free review. If you want to check that out after this review,
it's dark. We keep talking about it. I would say it's more like Guardians because even though it's dark, because we keep talking about what else is in DCU, like the most recent thing, the Snyder Cut, that's a different kind of dark. But that's what oftentimes DC fans complain about the DCEU is that it's too like realistic and dark and moody and like that is the Snyder Cut kind of dark, the Zack Snyder kind. This is dark humor, which is still light in a certain way. It's still, and I would compare that more to Guardians. It still has the the color palette still pops. The characters are all very poppy, even if they're saying insane things, which is the difference here.
Visually, the Snyder Cut is like a bunch of grays and blacks and blues.
Yeah, it's more moody. Like this is, but they're both dark in quotes. Like, they're both considered dark by people, but they're very different kinds of dark. And I just want to point that out because these are the last two things we've gotten in a DCU, both very good compared to the rest of it. But they're both different kinds of dark.
Yeah, I again, we kind of talked about it in our spoiler review, but this movie was really great.
Yeah, for people that aren't going to go back, do you guys want to re-give your scores for the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if we're missing anything because I know we are. For me, this is a 9. I mean, I loved all the characters, even the ones who died instantly. Something we didn't talk about. It sucks that Captain Boomerang is dead.
I know.
Yeah. He died quick, just like most of the other characters.
I love the costumes. All the costumes were so cool, especially Bloodsport's with
I thought they would have kept him though for the Flash. Oh, you know, he could probably still be in it though because that's multiverse or whatever.
Right, the Flash is better than crazy.
I mean, I don't know if he'll be in it, but I think
isn't he like the Flash villain, like one of the Flash villains?
Yeah. Well, in the Suicide Squad, the Flash is in that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying even in the DCU, they've set him up as like the Flash guy.
Right.
And so I feel like it'd be weird if they didn't get Jai Courtney to do that because he makes a cameo in Birds of Prey. Technically, his like face is on the wall and she like pats it, and I think they make a reference of it. They might make a reference to it in this movie, but he's in the police station. And so I felt like they were sort of Jai Courtney, like this character had been in like the most crossover for the DCEU, weirdly. And I was like, oh, cool, he's going to be something that's dead instantly. And I was like, yeah, it's tough.
Again, Dylan, did you give your score?
Yeah, 8.5. Strong, could be a 9. Strong 8.5.
Yeah, I got to rewatch it.
Definitely worth a watch though.
Yeah,
I want to watch it again.
This is definitely a rewatchable movie. But yeah, what did you guys think of the movie? Let us know in the comments if you want to. We'd love to have a conversation down in the comments. Also, we'll have the Discord link in the description if you want to check us out there. And it's obviously we have a great community. So if you guys want to join it,
obviously.
So. And so like the video if you care to, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. We do a bunch of live streams as well, so. Be on the lookout for those, and yeah, we're gonna close it out. Any final thoughts, guys?
Go watch the movie,
go watch it. Go
with a spoiler-free review.
Everybody, take care.
Or don't. You just watch this.
Or don't.
You just watch it.
Bye, guys.